And I'm in the midst of saying hello to a lot of people this morning. Good morning, Rich. Hello, my friend. Hope all is well in your world. We are hoping today to connect with a few people, and we'll see how that goes. And we have him here. Have no fear. All right. Did it take you a second to get ready? Yeah.
Figure this out. Can you see me on
I
the
see. I
thingy?
see. I see you. I see the glory of you. In fact.
Awesome,
And
awesome,
that
awesome.
and now the world sees you as well on your
Oh,
big
that's fantastic.
on your big stage.
And I finally get to see you, Michael. It's wonderful to
Yes.
see you.
Have you not ever watched any of the videos? We do these every day, and
Okay.
it's everything from sports. Now the great thing is too, this app is free if you
Oh,
use
wow.
only two channels. So for someone like you, I would suggest using Twitter and whatever your next favorite one is. So, and you can be on here for 2 hours. The other great thing you have is you have the ability to, if you have a site that you want to see,
Uh-huh.
you can click it up and look at it and check it out. And you can, the other day, I actually had your picture on and I had your Twitter on and I said, you got to follow this guy, you know?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this application. It's called Restream Studio.
Yes, and I said
Okay.
women enter with care, and they said what? No, I'm kidding. So as
So what?
you can see on the screen here, I've got notifications, right? I've got
Right.
stuff I've bookmarked. So let's say that I wanted to highlight something here. Let's say I like
Mm-hmm.
this piece of artwork. There it is,
Wow.
right? And
Wow.
it's all web based. Let you know if there was a show coming up or something that you had. So a lot of times I will do that. I will promote you. The other day we had Tim. Is it Tim? Tim Brown, right? Tim.
Tim Brown.
Yeah,
That's
Tim
right.
Brown. Yeah, and he was doing a football show with us.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
and no, none of the women knew him, and they were like, "Who's the new eye candy?"
Wow.
So
That is so
very,
cool.
very handsome man. I was shocked. I thought he was some old fart.
Tim has a really nice personality. He's a wonderful person, and he's one of the first people I met on Twitter Spaces, and ever since then we've been good friends. So yeah, lovely person. So is Donica. Met a few great people. Yourself. Then Graciela. There's Jackie. There's Nino. There's so many nice people out there, and everybody's trying to do their bit, and it's just wonderful to have the interaction. And I think one of the great things about Twitter Spaces is the ability to network with people across the globe. And now I feel like if I go to New Zealand, I know somebody there. If I go to Australia, there's somebody there. So it's wonderful, wonderful platform. As a matter of fact, today I did a space, and it was I really got on a roll today because there's a little bit of uh, I guess I don't want to call it jealousy, but envy is probably the right word. Some people they get upset if if they see that you are doing successful spaces. And there was a small incident in my space a few days ago where a gentleman came in, and I don't know him. He follows me, and there was a guest on my space that said something about this whole Gaza Palestinian Israeli thing,
Hmm.
and he got offended. And I firmly believe that everybody has a right for their perspective and their opinion, and we as host of the space have a responsibility and a moral responsibility to make sure that everybody gets to express their opinions without offending anybody. But then it's really hard because you don't know who's going to get offended by what. And so he got offended and he left the space, and he kind of went and got other people into his own space and spoke about my space. And I was thinking that's just really sort of very immature behavior. If you disagree with somebody's point of view, just you have the ability to either leave the space, or you can DM that person and say, you know what, I felt that this was wrong, rather than create a drama around it. And so these things do happen. And hosting is a big responsibility because you got a number of people in there. When you give mics out to people, you don't know who's going to say what,
Yes.
and you have to be extremely careful. I used to give mics randomly to people, but
Yes.
now I go look at their profile.
Yes.
I make sure that they're going to be people that are going to add value to the space, rather than just come and
You were
start
wondering about
using.
me at the beginning. I know you were. You were like, "Who's this guy? Is this guy
Well,
real?" Because I remember you used to ask me questions like, "So, what are your beliefs, sir? Explain, Michael. Explain that to me,
oh my
Michael.
goodness,
Are you the
Michael.
hoodoo man? What are you doing here, brother?"
Oh my goodness. Oh my
No.
goodness.
So I'm
And
so glad.
so,
I knew you would be on, and we'd have no lack of shit to say. Because you're a natural speaker, right?
yeah.
And you
Well, I mean, I've in my corporate career, I had to address, a lot of, functions and seminars and things like that. So, I built up my sort of, strength from there. But I take my hosting very seriously. I try
Mhm.
and make sure that everybody's respected in the space, especially when women are there. I try and make sure that they feel safe and they feel that they're not going to be disrespected.
Okay,
And
slow
that's
down.
partly
Slow
my.
slow down. You got nuggets here. I'm gonna ask you questions. You like,
Sure, go ahead,
okay,
go ahead,
okay,
go ahead,
okay. So
go ahead.
first of all, are you single?
No, I'm happily married. I've got
But
four beautiful daughters, and
okay,
my
so
oldest is
okay, so all the
33,
girls
and
that
the youngest
follow
is
me,
27.
he's not available. Sorry. So, so and but the couple that were really heavy on the Tim. It was funny. They were leaving comments, and I was like, "Oh my, look at that! Tim's getting some action here." But Tim's a great guy too. I'm going to ask
Yeah,
you. I'm going to ask you 36 questions,
sure.
and he's going. I never signed up for this. Where's
That's
my
so cool.
memo? My people never told my people this. What's going on? Okay, so this is 36 ways to improve yourself. So the first one is: do you meditate, and do you believe in meditation?
My meditation is through my prayer. As a Muslim, I have to pray 5 times a day. And so I find my meditation in my prayer. So when I wake up at 4:30 in the morning
Mm-hmm.
for my morning prayers, that's the perfect time for me to sort of meditate, because this everybody's sleeping, it's dark, and there's no light outside, and that's my connection with God, and so I love it. So that's my meditation.
Okay, good. Now, when you're on your space, do you have a lot of noise where you are usually? Like,
No.
no, I do sometimes. So
Oh, okay.
if we suddenly have music on, because they you can put music on this in the background, and then
Oh,
you don't hear the background stuff.
oh, okay, okay.
It helps mask it. So if they suddenly start, you hitting the dumpsters or mowing lawns or trimming or something, and the music comes on, don't do this. Michael, I hear music. Yes. Yes, it's the gods. They're calling
Oh,
you. But
right.
you can pick from different ones. And
Okay.
as you can see right now, I'm promoting Restream. So you're gonna have this one. Someone's going, why is he talking about this Restream? There's a reason, and I'll explain to you later. So number two, that was a great answer, by the way. Number two is
Thank you.
set goals. Do you believe in setting goals?
Uh, Not really. I
No,
I just go I just go with the flow.
I know you
Um,
do.
I,
Me too.
I yeah, I just go because you can plan anything you want, but then God has His plan,
Yeah.
and so we all know He's a better planner. So you can plan all you want, but He's got His plan in place. So I find that the best thing to do is just go with the flow,
Hmm.
and let things unfold the way they're unfolding as nature intends it to be, and then everything just works out in the end. That's what you've got to believe in.
So you know right now that we are on Twitter. We are on Twitch. We are on Facebook. And we are on YouTube. So the glory of you is shining brighter than it ever has before. Sorry to all the people in the world who've never seen him radiate with love. Here he is. You see, when you're on your broadcast and they're all screaming at each other, I'm like,
So are there people right now watching us?
yes.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
right now on one of the platforms, there's four. But if you were to link your Twitter would show you. So when you came in, you can link it to different ones. Today's a warm up, folks. I'm hoping to have
Okay.
them up here. I think I put in here coffee time around the world with you. How do you pronounce your name, by the way?
Salman.
So okay,
Yeah.
because Tim said it and it sounded like a dessert,
No,
and I
it's
was like, I thought, is it Solomon?
yeah.
Solomon? And he was like, Solomon, Solomon. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
it's
And I went,
it's
who the hell is he talking about? Solomon. And I didn't understand what they were saying. I think, does he mean Salman? He said it
that,
very. How do you say it? Is there several ways? It's like I used to.
no, it's just Salman. It's
Well,
and it's
Donika, we used to call her Donica, and that was not Kula.
yeah, yeah. Some
And all of
people call
us,
it Tunika. That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. And she would go, Michael,
Uh,
Michael, and even Tim, Michael. Oh, sorry, sorry. So you don't believe in setting goals. You believe basically living in the flow,
Absolutely.
in the gap.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Unless, of course, I'm doing a project where I'm very focused on what I need to achieve. But other than that, I just let life throw its
Yes.
curveballs at me and just go ahead and try and hit it out of the park. Yeah.
What I want to do one day is, and I used to do this before, is I'll get just business people, and I think you're business enough and loony enough like me that you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because
I think I should be.
they're very dry,
Okay.
and I love them. Don't get me wrong, but they will talk about this third button here was made and handcrafted in England and stitched by monks, and the monk's name was Billy Boo, and you're like, what does that have to do with Donald Trump? Well, I'll get there. I'll get there. And
Cool.
and and you're in 20 minutes into something else, and then one guy I used to have come on. He kept referring himself as the Jew,
Hmm.
and I'm like, no, 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 and I kept telling him no, no,
Okay.
and it would always swing this way. But oh my God, men's are bright. All of them are men's of bright. You need. I'm not saying you and I aren't the sharpest knife in the drawer. We get by, but we have other skills that you can't measure,
True. True.
right? And
True.
like
Everybody.
bullshit
Everybody.
baffles brains.
Everybody. Yeah,
Everybody.
I firmly believe everybody's gifted and everybody's got a skill that, that shines in them.
That's good. That was a very Michael thing you said there. I like that. But you used to question me all the time. I go, "Are you for real? Who are you, really, man?" It took you about 6 weeks to understand me, I think, and
Well,
even
Michael, you have a very spiritual side to you. I remember the first couple of times I interacted with you, you said the strangest things, and I was thinking to myself, what is with this gentleman? I mean, and there was one time when I heard you say to somebody, oh, has this happened, and this and that,
oh,
and I was like,
the intuitive gifts,
yeah,
yeah,
I was blown away. I was like, wow,
yeah,
this is a whole different dimension that Michael is talking about. My goodness, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I love what Tim said. Mike can come in and be a beautiful supporter, or Michael can come in and be the disruptor.
Is that what he said?
He said
Oh,
Michael can disrupt the room like nobody.
that is funny.
Because
That is
I
funny.
would find it boring, and I would poke
Yeah,
a few people,
right.
right, just to get it. Because to me, it was sometimes like just dry toast. I was like, okay, come on, we got to make it more fun than this.
Right.
And
Right.
I love having guests like yourself, where it's always fun. It's always
Awesome.
fun.
Awesome.
Anybody who's here. Oh shit! You know what I should have done? Oh, okay. Uh, I forgot one thing, and it's probably the most important thing here. We are live on all these platforms, but all right.
Is this going to be recorded, Michael, so people can see it later?
Oh yeah, no, it's on right now.
Okay, so let's say somebody's not here right now. Can they watch it later?
Oh, of course, for years to come,
Okay.
unless you say, take it down,
Oh,
take it
okay.
down.
I didn't know how this thing works, so I was just wondering.
I went on
Okay.
one the other day, and I said to you, you got to take that down.
Hmm.
Oh no, no, it's going to be fine. I said it's not going to be fine. I don't want
Okay.
I don't want me represented with that. So what do I
Right.
get what do I get from YouTube? We do not believe in some of the things that were said. It was they're political, right? And I'm doing this going, and it was somebody I didn't know. And it's like you said, you
Right.
don't know whatever's said in a room. It reflects you. It reflects me. If I say something horrible about somebody, it reflects
Right.
you indirectly. Unless you're defending them, and then even then, as nutty as you and I are, they probably think we scripted it,
Ah, I
right?
mean, I was, yeah, when you told me yesterday, I was, I was delighted. I was really excited actually, because I love doing live stuff like this. And, I want people to know who I am because I interact with them and they have no idea. And
Right.
I've lived a crazy life. And so there's some great stories to be told.
Yeah. I just want to say hello to Derek. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate you. Thank you, Edward, as well. Thank you, Anne. Edward is unbelievable. I'm just going to showcase him for 1 second here. Uh, this guy has 218,000 followers. A
On
couple
Twitter?
on Twitter. Crazyville. Crazyville. We're going to go
Nice.
back to where I'm glad nobody. I was a little worried. There was someone who said they might come and they would tell me in the comments in Twitter, and I was like, oh well, sorry.
Cool.
That you know how many
Cool.
times that's happened? Where I've gone through a whole show and they went, I couldn't get up. You didn't give me a
Oh,
link.
oh, really?
Yeah, you have
Wow.
to no link, no ride. It's like that you need the ticket. All right.
Interesting.
All right. So the next one is, do you read daily?
No, I don't. I find that my education, I mean, I try and read, but I read mostly self improvement stuff, and that is like maybe twice or three times a year at most. And it's funny that you mentioned this because I did a space on creating a millionaire mindset, and when
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my research, I found out that the majority of the successful people in this world,
Yes.
when they were interviewed, that they read on an average 50 books a year, and they tend to read all basically related to self improvement stuff. And they said we never read fiction because fiction will always remain fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny that it kind of when the results came out, there was a direct correlation between learning and
Mm-hmm.
earning. And so if you learn more, you earn more. And so it's incredible if you can acquire knowledge, and I think it's just wonderful. But I what I find more interesting than reading these days is going and doing my research on YouTube, because there's everything available on YouTube. So some people are just not born to read, and so I much rather watch it in a format which I can see what is being said, and what the bad body language is of that person. So you don't get that from a book, but you certainly see that on a screen. And so YouTube is the media I go to for learning.
Awesome. So right here, right now, we have Tony D. Tony D is used to be, I would say, the co-host of my show most days when I was on Haps. And Haps
Hmm.
was a network that was like this. We were on every day, and him and I got really spoiled. We would get very angry if we only had 300 people, and we would be okay with 1,000, and occasionally we'd have 2,000, and it was zooey. It was totally zooey, and I've now changed gears where I don't really care so much about the amount of people in the room. I care more now about the quality of the content.
I agree.
Like what you just said there is a nugget of gold. We used to do these crazy, zany 2 hour. literally shit shows, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But people would come to see what looniness was going on, and him and
Right,
I would invite people up who couldn't stand us, or we invite up two people we knew didn't like each other, and we just
right,
let them feast on each other and go, "Okay, I'm gonna go get a coffee. I'll be right back. Thank you." And they went,
right, right.
and you get that in your room. You get that in your room. I've heard it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I think I was having a flashback, and I went, "Oh my god, look at this! Imagine if you
yeah,
could see them."
yeah. I mean, I hope they bring that feature where those round pictures that we have on the space turn into live videos. I mean, that would be the craziest thing ever. That somebody will have the option of just
Yeah,
flicking on a button and then you come on live on that
yeah.
round thing. I think you'll get to see people's body language. You'll see their facial expressions. You'll get to know them a lot better. You can keep it off or you can switch it on, but that's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to come in.
So
Yeah.
what you can do on here, and part of the reason I brought you up, is a bit of manipulation. There's no money involved, so you're good. And I'm not going to compromise you sexually, so you're good. It's all good. Don't worry.
Awesome. Awesome.
So what you can do on here is you can highlight the comments. You can have a column where the comments are coming in and you can see them. I highly don't. With my audience, that is not a good idea.
Okay.
My audience are nuts. Like they will say all kinds of stuff, and I don't want that forever associated to you. Like the other day when we had, and it's because it's funny, but they were, talking about Tim. Oh, like so, this person I know is like, hey, who's the new eye candy? Like so, so,
That's funny.
and I'm howling, and he's looking at me like, what's so funny? And I'm like,
Uh,
and I even kind of privately wrote, do not feast, be good,
that is
relax.
funny.
And they
That
were
is
saying
funny.
horrible things about Tony and I in it. Oh, that show was boring. Nobody ever
By
watched
the way,
that.
Michael, Tim is very shy. He's
Well, he wasn't shy on ours.
yeah, and I mean, you see him on the space. He's really, but if you talk to him, sometimes I get the feeling that he's a bit shy. Being on a live video and stuff. But if
Yeah.
he had a good session with you, then my observation was wrong. Then
You know
yeah,
what's great? No, I think you're right. I think with us, because we were so insane, all of us,
yeah,
and we were
yeah,
talking about football, and he loves football, and he was
right,
very knowledgeable, which they were shocked at. Because a lot of times I'll invite people in their business, and I'll invite them into a broadcast, and they're like, "Oh God, we got another wing nut here." Like,
right,
or they love them,
uh,
and they think they're wonderful. You
right,
are probably one of the closest energetic things I've seen that is close to me. Like you and I are different, but
yeah.
energetically and our core beliefs are very similar. Like I genuinely get from you, you love people, and
I
oh my,
absolutely.
in your core,
I
more so than I do, to be
Do you
honest.
know, Michael? Do you know I'll share something very private with you. Do you know I can't eat alone? I need to have somebody around me when I have my meals. I mean,
Oh
whether it may be a friend, it could be my daughter, it could be
yeah,
my mother, but I love to sit on a table where there's people with me because I cook. I'm a chef also, and
yes.
so I love to have company over. It's just fantastic. Who wants to live a life that's lonely? I mean, you want to be surrounded by happy people. You want to be surrounded with positive people. So yeah, I just love people. I think we're so blessed that we have such amazing people around us. So it's all good.
Can we for a moment talk about what you're doing on Twitter Spaces, and basically tell them where you're from, and you do this little coffee thing, and that's kind of why I put coffee time around the world. Tell them where you're from and tell them where they can find you. See, this is the great thing. I want you to take some of your zany audience, do this with up to 6 people, and have it where you've got this on multi-streaming at the same time. You could have two, unless you pay. What do I pay? I think I pay $20 a month, and I can have up to 6 platforms going seamlessly the whole time.
Wow.
Right?
I've got to learn how to use this application. I have no idea.
It's
It's my
not that
first
hard.
time.
It's not that
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I've got to figure this out, but I
yeah.
will certainly do that. Let me just give you a little background. I was born in Pakistan. I left Pakistan when I was 18 years old. I went straight to Southern California. That's where I did my bachelor's degree in marketing and management from a very good school. And I stayed there for a few years. And then my parents that were in Dubai I mean, at that time, I came to visit them. And then I never left. This country has become my home. So I've been in Dubai now for 39 years. And this is where I've made my life. And it's just wonderful. So that's a little background about me. And I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is called Salman the Foodie because I love food. And so, yeah,
can you put it in the chat? Put it in the chat there so they can see it in the comments, and then I can put it on the screen.
okay. How do I do that, Michael? You'll have to help me.
Can you see the chat within yours where you can?
Okay, there's I think ad, and then there's I think messages, and there's something with a lock on it. Is
Oh,
that the one?
you know what?
Yeah.
I get it because you're on your phone, right?
Right. Right.
Okay. If we well, one day we'll go through it together in the green
Okay.
room on your. Do you have a computer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll
I
do it
mean a
on the
laptop.
computer.
A laptop. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it on a laptop. You and I together in the green room can go step by step on how to do it.
Okay. Cool. That'll be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
because it's a
yeah.
lot
So
tougher. It's a lot tougher
yeah.
on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was in Florida because my tech company is there and visited, and I was visiting my partner, and I always used to hear about Twitter. And
Yes.
I just didn't know what Twitter was. I mean, I knew people used to tweet and stuff, but I had no understanding of Twitter. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to educate myself today. And so I went and I opened my account, and then all of a sudden I saw these little blue things running on the top, and I clicked on one of them, entered into some space, and it was crazy. I didn't know these things were going on, this Twitter space and everything else. Next thing you know, I went into one space and I saw this mic button, and I don't even know how to use the request for mic and all of that stuff. So it took me a while, but I understood it. And then I met Tim Brown, and after a few months, Tim said to me, he said, "You are a natural. You speak really well. You should start doing your own space."
Well, he's
And I said
right.
to Tim,
You
yeah,
you
I
have a
said,
gift. You have a gift.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I said to Tim, I said, Tim, I don't have the confidence to host a space because this is all new to me. Well, then he said to me, he said, look, I'll co-host with you, and I'll help you get started. So,
Oh, see, that's him.
I
That's him,
yeah,
right?
that's Tim,
That's
right? And so I
he's a
appreciated that so much. He really went out of his way, and so I did my first space with Tim Brown, and then it just so happened that I got a lot of Americans coming into that space, obviously because of Tim. And then I started, I specialize a little bit in relationship counseling and things like that. I just like to learn about various subjects. And so I started doing spaces on relationships, and so I started getting a lot of audience in there. And so that format was just topic based. I would put something like, how to remove toxic people from your life, or what you
okay.
need to do
Let's
to make
okay.
your marriage
We're gonna put a
successful.
pause button for
Yeah,
1 second here.
yeah.
So, if I was to explain what you do, you are a great unifier, community builder, uplifter, but you also have a keen knowledge of how to get people to interact. If you want people to go out of their effing mind, do number one, religion, number two, politics, or let's do a topic about toxic relationships or divorces. And I also notice you have women in your broadcast, and you have to fiercely defend them at times because the men just railroad over them or truck over them, as I call it. So I love that about you. And with this, I think this can fine tune what you're doing better for your branding. Okay, because if you have six semi-sane people who are okay, and I'm not saying they have to be fully sane, have six of them, and then if they get nutty, you can just mute them, toss them. I used to call it on my show, oh, it's a Russian flush, and I used to have a toilet, and the person would go because they wouldn't stop interrupting or swearing or whatever, and everybody forever would howl and go, "Are you gonna flush me? Is that your hubby?"
Uh, uh, yeah, that's just my wife just walked in.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah.
was
Well,
just
well, you
saying that.
you can say hi to her. Show
No,
respect
no,
to.
that's cool. She's on the phone, so that's all right.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, so that's how this whole thing got started. And then I entered into the Pakistani spaces, and people started loving what I had to say, and so I started getting a bit of following from Pakistan, and then people started saying to me, "Well, why don't you do spaces for us? You're always doing spaces for the Western crowd, Western
Agreed.
audience."
Yes.
And so I decided to start this format of chai with Salman, because in the US and Canada and everywhere, coffee is the big thing, but in our side of the world, chai is the biggest thing, which is everybody has to drink their tea in the morning and afternoon and evening, and so that's how this word chai came along. And then I started my format, Chai with Salman. So majority of the people that come there are all Pakistanis, and but I get a very educated crowd in my space. They're all intellectuals, very nice people. I get a really good crowd, and they know that when they come into my space, they're going to be respected, especially the women. Because sometimes men can be a little bit rude, or they can be a little bit let's say, flirty and stuff like that. So I
Flirty.
don't, yeah,
Flirty. Huh?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Well, I
Um.
guess that's everywhere, Michael.
So would you say your channels also had people meet each other? Now, do you see that? Can you see on your screen here? See this guy here? Do you recognize him with the point?
You're talking about, you,
Yeah.
you,
He
I
looks
can see my Twitter handle, but then there's this clown in front of me.
yeah, that
What is
that's
that?
that's another one. This is great quotes on Twitter. And then
Okay,
and then the next one, if you look at it, I can move it over. Here we go. We go like this. And we have notifications.
right.
And then what'll happen is if that is really fast, it's real time, you'll have all these tweets coming in.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I want to go back to you because that's what I wanted to do. I want people to know what you're doing. This is you here, founder
Right.
and CEO of CV Vlogs. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Entrepreneur, mentor, and biker. And so, like for the Hell's Angels, or what are you talking about?
No, I
Yeah.
actually ride very fast sport bikes, Michael. I build
Yes.
them in California, and I've won awards for building some of the best bikes. And so
Yeah.
that's just my passion,
Yeah.
motorcycle riding. I also love boats and yachts, and so I do a lot of boating, and I go in the sea for fishing and stuff like that. I love the ocean. I love the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So do a lot of that. And if you go on my timeline, you will never see any post which is religious or political.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it very clean. I will only post motivational stuff
Yeah.
on my timeline, and people ask me all the time, "Why don't you?" Because I don't allow politics and religion in my space. I think that is the reason that I'm so popular on Twitter, is because I don't allow these two subjects in my space.
Do you
People
know
think that
this?
they get,
Do you know this
yeah.
handsome man in the photo here above you? Do you know him by any chance? Sitting by the fire? Do you know him?
Yeah, I do know him actually. I've
Do you
known
know
him
it?
for a while.
He seems familiar to me. Like I've seen him before, but I couldn't place it.
That is
I like that
hilarious.
photo. Where's that taken?
That's taken at a restaurant that's on the beach, and so it's starting to get a little bit chilly here in Dubai now. It's November, so yeah, they had the fire going everywhere. It was nice.
The other thing you can do too, let's say you had something that you love that you wanted to share, you can put that in there as well.
Nice.
Or if you want
Nice.
to highlight it where it's the bigger,
Right.
it would be like that.
Wow. That is
Well,
so cool.
yeah, and if you don't like someone in your space, you can make them a very small little person and just
Oh,
throw
wow.
and make yourself a giant. I've done that before. I go and
That
the
is so
star.
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm really going to try and understand this whole thing so that next time I'm a little bit more comfortable with you on this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now the other great thing that you can do here, we're just going to take a moment here, and so this here is your chat overlay. So if, let's say we had tons of chat stuff that you wanted to go on, and we've had it before, especially when we do relationship stuff, it all comes up. The only thing you run risk of there is people can get really loony. But let's say there's a
Right.
comment that you like, you could
Hmm.
put it up here like this. See that? And
Right.
that to me is way safer.
Got you. Got you.
That's way safer. Now let's say that you wanted some background music and it tends to be louder in the broadcast than it is
Mm.
when it's played back. But you can hear that there. So let's say you're feeling really smooth in the morning. Go, all right, I'm here. How you doing? You know.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. I love that.
But that's all free as well, and it's all copyright free too. So you're not going to get yourself
Wow.
in trouble.
Oh, that's so nice. That is really nice. You know, it's so funny. I never heard about this restream. It's the first time ever. So,
Well, there you go, and I now you can promote it all over the world, which is wonderful.
has this been there for a while now, Michael? This
I
application?
gotta be real. When I was on Haps,
Yeah.
I did not like it.
Okay.
They showed me a beta of it, and to me it was
Uh-huh.
crap. It was horrible.
Right. Right.
I didn't like it at all. And
Hmm.
for some reason, they got their shit together, and now it is
Mm.
seamless. But they have millions of people now who are using it. So let's say you're on a budget and you have no money,
Right.
you could do two streams simultaneously, and it takes a while to get used to it. You can play music on here as well, your own music, and do your own file. If you have a
Wow.
presentation, you can put the presentation up. It's great, especially if you're doing stuff that's say like LinkedIn, or you're doing even if you had a client, you could give
Hmm.
them the key. It could be private, and you're in here,
Hmm.
and you could show them stuff on your computer.
Right.
But if you were
Right.
in, if you had been on your computer, you and I could have talked before the broadcast.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I
Yeah.
learned something today. I was like, he seems like the kind of guy that would be on time. He might be waiting for me. And I was waiting for you, and I went, I'm just
I
going to go
am
on.
super punctual, Michael. Time management is the number one thing for me.
Hmm.
I'm normally at least 15 minutes before my appointment time, I'm already there. And I don't appreciate people who are not respectful of time. And that is something very, very important to me. I judge people on that actually. If
Yeah.
somebody tells me to, meet them at a specific time or
Hmm.
this thing, and if they don't turn up, I get really upset because I make sure that time is always respected, and I think that's a very important trait for you to become a successful person in life.
So you
Yeah,
just had a birthday, and
I did.
you're 29 again and holding.
Oh,
How
don't
does
don't I
I'm
wish, Michael? Don't I
I
wish?
I'm 30 times 2.
Wow. So me and you are exactly the same age.
Are you were you born in 63?
Yes, I was. Yes.
See, the planets aligned.
I just turned 60 in October. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what is your date on in
Uh,
October?
30th of October, 30.
So you're almost a Halloween baby.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yes.
One of my closest friends was born on Halloween. He's no longer with us. He passed
I'm
from
sorry.
cancer. That's okay.
I'm I'm sorry.
He passed from cancer. But
Sorry.
the great thing here for you is if you have subjects that you're talking about, you can bring photos up of it. You could also too maybe have a sheet that's the guidelines
Wow.
and put it in there and go, Here's the reminder of the guidelines right here. Sorry, there. You could do that.
Why are you frozen, Michael, on the screen? Yeah, I could see you before.
I'm not frozen. It might just be your phone is starting to heat up.
No, I'm good here on my side.
You look
But
good. Okay, well here
for some reason,
yeah.
your picture has been frozen for a while now, for a few minutes.
Oh,
Before
okay.
I
I'll shift
before
it. I'll shift it around and see if that helps for you.
before I could see you moving and talking and everything else.
Am I moving now?
Nope, nope.
That's so weird. Oh well. And you know what I can do? I can actually look and see if I'm moving on another platform. But we sometimes have problems with Facebook. Don't worry about it. It's working well at this end. We're good.
Oh, it's
And
all good. It's all
yeah,
good. I was just wondering. I thought
the
maybe
the
you
way
were
it works is all this information goes to their website.
right.
So it's web based. It gets processed. Then at the end of the show, you can basically divvy it up, cut it up if you want, make it into other, things like TikToks or shorts. You also
Wow.
have the ability to record the whole show in
Uh-huh.
pretty like what I'm seeing right now is crystal clear. But
Wow.
I'm going to check just for checks and giggles here. So let's go here. Let's go here. But a lot of times when you're on a phone, the phone will only be all right for a second. The other thing you could do is you could bounce down and bounce back up if you wanted.
So I just minimize my screen and then open it again.
One second here. I'm going to do it from my end. One sec. Okay. Take them out. Put them back in. Okay. Is it better now?
No, you're still frozen on the screen. For whatever reason, I have
Are
no
you
idea.
are you still seeing the clown?
The clown is still there on the left side of the screen.
Okay.
There's me at the bottom and you on the top right side, but you ain't moved. Yeah.
How about the clown now? Can you see him bigger?
No, the clown is still there on the left, but yeah, it's the same size as your screen.
Yeah. Okay. So things are good. You're just not seeing me. It might be a glitch within the mobile. That used to happen a lot on apps. People would go, "I can't hear you. You're not moving," and then we play it back, and the person I
Right.
couldn't hear was 5 times louder
Right.
than
Right.
everybody else, and because I kept turning them up, because you could turn them
Right.
up, and I'm playing it back, and it's like literally it seemed like they were screaming, but they weren't.
Right. Right.
Now,
Right.
what is a good day for you to do these? Like, because if we could do it once a week, we could do topics. I could have other guests. This today for me was like a little trial run to see how it went, and it's gone fabulously. Is there anything you want to promote?
Look, I'm easy. Whenever you want to do it, just let me have a couple of days notice, and I'll make myself available. It's not a problem.
So, what time is it there right now?
Right now, it's 7:45 in the evening.
7:45. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how many hours ahead is that then? We're
So
currently.
I'm probably +8 from you. You're probably around 10:45 right
Oh,
now.
see, that makes sense. When I come on in the
Yeah.
morning sometimes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll be up at 6, and
Right.
and you guys all seem wide awake, and I've been on I think once at 3 in the morning,
Correct.
and you were on
Right.
because you're 8 hours ahead.
Right. Exactly. You're 8 hours behind me. Yeah.
And then so when you see Tim at 1 o'clock, it's in the wee hours of the morning for you.
That's right, and that's why I have a really hard time connecting with Donica, because she wants me to co-host her space with her, and then her space starts at my 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and I because she finishes work late, and it's really difficult for me to stay up that late. So if I'm awake, I go in her space. Otherwise, it's really difficult. So yeah, but Tim does it early on Saturdays. So it works out.
Have you ever been on this show?
On Tim's show?
No, this one here in the other window. Do you see Nino's Cafe there?
Yeah, yeah. I know Nino really well, but I've never been on any show or anything like that. I just
No.
go into his space. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, you've been on his Twitter Space before.
Yes, I have. Yes,
I
yes.
was thinking of getting him, Tim, yourself, and maybe someone else you know one time, and we'll get a panel of maybe like five.
Oh, that'll be nice. I think
Yeah,
it'll be fantastic.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
That.
also of a threesome of Dunika, yourself, and me, and if maybe Tim.
Yeah, I mean, me, Donica, and Tim, we always host spaces together.
Yeah.
I normally go and co-host for them, or they'll come and join my space. So we have a great equation, the three of us. So I can speak for them for sure that it'll be always a pleasure for them to join in as well.
The saddest thing for me was, and I have to be honest about this, is when Haps ended, and you would have done phenomenal in Haps, by the way. Haps, you got paid for your time.
Oh,
You
I
you
have no idea. I have
and
never heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the way it worked was it was like this. It was free. You didn't pay anything for it. It would go on up to 5 networks at the same time, and we would have subscribers, and we'd have people that would give us money every day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
with your audience and your appeal, it would be great. What I desperately tried to do at the beginning is I tried to get everybody to come from Haps to go to Twitter Spaces. They didn't like it because all of
Mhm.
them are very, look at me, look at me, I'm here.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
like that they couldn't. Now the shy people liked it for a while, but then I know they kind of lost their way. So I find people who like Twitter, how do I say this nicely? There is a warmth or a protection that is found in Twitter Spaces in some deep conversations. It's almost like people forget they're on air. It's almost like a phone call, amongst friends.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
with this, I think people are more aware.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're more aware of what they're doing. Um, the other thing I've noticed with you too, and this is what I try to do on this format, I don't like to go any more than an hour because I want people to watch them. And what we used to happen is when we did these longer ones, no one ever got past 30 minutes. And
Really?
yeah, and
Wow.
one day I want you and I, and it's going to be a little zany for us, but it'll really help us. I want you and I one day to go through a whole bunch of quotes, and we won't make a video any longer than 9 minutes. So
That
what
that's fine.
we'll stop, and then I can put it on TikTok. TikTok yesterday, I posted a 9-minute video from this format, and I think I have 550 views on it.
Okay.
So, but that's a whole different audience for you.
Right.
And
Right.
Tim,
Right.
Tim is a natural for this. Tim was
Wow.
born for this, like, because he likes to educate, and he likes to have everything in such a place. He could have every photo ready, and he could, you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
And the other great thing about him is that if he comes and joins the space, and if somebody throws a question at him, he has the ability and the confidence to come up with an answer, and
Yes.
it will be a very good answer. It won't be just randomly just some stupid stuff. No, he will really think about what he's saying, and he'll have a
Yeah.
good answer for you. And so I love that about him. When I go into a space, I always learn something, and that's what I do. When people come into my space, I want to make sure that they leave with something from my space. And so I do a lot of research on my content, Michael. If I have a topic based
Yeah.
space, I spend at least a week trying to create a content for my space. So, because I firmly believe that, if you're going to do a topic based space,
Hmm.
the host and the co-host need to be educated on the subject matter. If you're not, don't do a space, because, if you're expecting people to come into your space and talk about it, they will take the conversation all over the place. And not to mention, some people just don't know how to get off the mic. And you don't want to be disrespectful by telling them, listen, please be brief.
Hmm.
And people don't realize how many minutes they take when they start talking. So you've got to make
Oh,
sure.
you're getting
Yeah,
into one of my beefs.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's
so
not easy. It's
here's
not
what I
easy.
used to do, which used to drive people crazy. So if we
Right.
let's say we had 30 speakers who
Hmm.
wanted to speak, I used to have a rule where you got 2 minutes.
Right.
And after the 2 minutes, I don't care if you're midway, you're done.
Yeah.
We're going to the
Yeah.
next one. So
Nice.
what it would do is make people be more concise.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. 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 So you had a list of things that you wanted to go through with me. What the 36? What was it? Improvement to something?
Yeah, do you still want to do it?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go through it
Oh,
quickly.
okay.
Yeah.
Because you rolled your eyes a couple times like I was
No.
smoking crack.
No. I'd love to do that. Why?
I
I'm
don't
here.
know. Okay, I'm gonna give
I've
you the
kept
look.
my.
You ready? You ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Do you see me now? Am I moving now? I'm doing
No,
the
you're
most.
not moving, Michael. You're
That.
stuck, buddy. Yeah. For
Well, how
whatever
about if
reason.
let's try this? I'll go down for a sec and see if that helps. Is it better now?
No, Michael. It's like your camera is frozen for
That's
whatever
so.
reason.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I
It
guess it'll
might.
be the
You
same
know
on
what
the
it might
recording.
be? It might
Yeah.
be doing that to save bandwidth for you.
What?
Yeah, because the bandwidth on this is massive,
Oh, really?
massive, huge.
Okay.
Like when you see this on Twitter, you're gonna howl at how clear it is.
Wow.
You'll be able to play this on YouTube and see all the questions that we did, and we'll be able to see that really handsome man by the at the restaurant or whatever that was with the flame in the background. We
Yeah.
both thought we knew, who looked kind of like you, and you'll be able to go, my God, what a handsome man.
Do you know something? I was really amazed at the quality of the picture on this application. It's so good. It's incredible. It's really, really good.
Well, it's only as good as the participant, right?
Well,
Yeah.
it's just nice to, yeah.
All right. He's not rolling his eyes at this. He's just hemorrhaging when he doesn't. Okay, here we go. So the next one is we'll go through these fairly quickly then. So
Okay.
eat healthily. Oh, so no, judge less. Do you judge more or judge less?
The only thing that is allowed to judge in this world is God and nobody else. That is only with the supreme being. That's it. We are, as people, not allowed to judge anyone. And I firmly believe in that. And so nobody can judge. Nobody except God.
Good old God. Okay, so the next one is eat healthy, which I think you do. From
Actually, I don't, Michael. I'm a big foodie. I eat everything. If I wake up at 2, 3 in the morning, and
Yeah.
if I feel like having a cheeseburger, I will go buy myself a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I do that. A lot of people ask me, that is so crazy. I tell them, if you deprive yourself of your wantings and your desires, you will grow old very quickly. If you want to stay young, you want to look young, you want to feel good about yourself,
Yeah.
never deprive yourself of anything. If your heart desires something, go and get it.
Okay, I like that. I love that. The next one is love yourself.
I think there I am a little bit careful because I think your ego and your pride and everything else starts to come into the way if you love yourself. But in the on the flip side of the coin, you need to love yourself before you can love anybody else. So I have these two answers for that. I think both work.
Okay. The next one is wake up early.
Absolutely. I mean, the most beautiful time for me is when I wake up for my prayers at 4:30, 4:45 in the morning. I'm done by 5:15 with my prayers and my meditation. And then I go outside, and it's the most beautiful time when that morning rays start coming out and the night starts turning into morning. That's just the most beautiful time. And if you're lucky enough, my father, God bless his soul, always used to say, go walk on the grass barefoot, and your eyes will always be 6 by 6. And that is so true. Grounding is just beautiful early in the morning, Michael.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to end the broadcast, come back, and then it'll be like a 1 hour power thing, and then we'll do part 2, and finish up these questions if you want to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you decide to choose a topic on relationships or whatever, or
Yeah.
I love to do spaces on business, entrepreneurship, and things like that, it would be my pleasure.
Well,
I'll come.
but we're not leaving forever. We're going to come right back up in like 2 minutes.
Oh, you mean right now?
Right now. So what
Oh, okay,
I'm gonna shut it down and
okay.
it's only gonna take about 2 minutes to start it up again.
So
And we're
I
gonna
click on the same link, Michael, or you're going to send me a new one?
I think you're gonna stay in the room with me.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're gonna be able to talk to me in the green room. So folks, we're gonna be right back and we're gonna finish this where he was eye rolling, and in the future I will get that little footage and we'll loop it. When Michael asks crazy questions and we'll
Yeah.
have your face.
So
All right.
you want me to just stay put right now?
Yeah, stay put. Don't leave. I think you're gonna stay
Okay.
in the room. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Just all
Okay.
right. Thank you.